Hello again, Cliff McWilliams here with Corporatist Nation because, remember, that's all we got. Well, last night I decided to watch a movie called V for Vendetta. And I encourage anyone who is more of a progressive bent, who's sick of the establishment, and certainly everything that goes along with that, especially on the Democratic side, to watch this movie. You know, because it's kind of funny. The topic that we see coming out of the Democratic Party establishment today now, after Bernie Sanders threw in the towel, as it were, yesterday, is unity. We got to stop that bad guy that's in the White House. Well, in my opinion, consider it if you will, or not, there's nothing worse than having a faux democracy. That is no democracy. That is the fascist state. And unity, one of the themes in this movie, which is somewhat Orwellian, to be sure, a modern day epilogue, if you will, is their theme. Of course, they have the all-seeing eye, presidential leader, who is the all-knowing and all-directing. And what is their theme? Unity equals strength. Faith equals unity. So we hear a lot about unity lately coming out of the Democratic Party, and we heard a little bit of that before Bernie dropped out. But, of course, yesterday, what did I get? From Progressive Turnout PAC. Official Joe Biden survey, because he's the presumptive Democratic nominee. And what do we think? What do I think? You know, I was hand selected to decide whether or not Joe Biden was someone that I favored. I encourage people not to respond to these. I don't. Because in the age of electronic voting, obviously you can't trust that. We certainly couldn't trust that in the primary. And I'll talk about that just for a second here. You know, exit polls are how we test voting apparatus. Now, in countries such as Germany, France, Canada, Norway, Finland, developed countries, the UK, how are votes counted? They're counted by hand by the people that cast them in precincts, just like they used to do here years ago. So we look at exit polls. And uniformly, the exit polls favored our now presumptive nominee, Joe Biden. California, Bernie exit polls, minus 11, Joe Biden plus 15.3. Texas, Bernie minus 11.8, Joe plus 1. Massachusetts, Bernie minus 12.4, Joe Biden plus 16.2. South Carolina, a state they really didn't need to fool around with as far as messing around with voting machines. Bernie minus 6.6, Joe Biden plus 8.3. Vermont, Bernie, you'd think Bernie would win that one going away, minus 11.0. Joe Biden plus 26.3. So they had to really favor him there. That makes perfect sense, right? They think we just fell off a turnip truck. But that's the story. So you're hearing all the postmortems on the Bernie Sanders campaign, and indeed, I have some concerns over Bernie's heart being and actually winning. I gave him about $400 or $500 on this occasion. Last time, I illicitly gave him the maximum donation because I used ActBlue. I encourage people never touch ActBlue because the boxes, you uncheck them, somehow they're checked. Recurring donations. So, you know, I got taken for a ride on that one in 2016, and of course it went to Hillary. Now, when we talk about Hillary, you know, I'm a Dem exit guy. I live in Florida, so I voted already for Bernie Sanders. Whether it counted or not, I couldn't tell you. But for those of you that live in states that have yet to vote and Bernie's still on the ballot, cast your vote for Bernie and then Dem exit. I'm going green. And if it's someone like Nina Turner, I'm all in. Nina Turner could draw 30,000 people herself. And I think that is the way to go. And so any way you look at it, Joe Biden loses. They did this to themselves. Don't blame it on us. If they played fair and Joe Biden won, then I'd say, okay, maybe we'll go with Joe Biden. But, his policies and his history are pathetic. We can't go for a guy who's assaulted numerous women, well documented, but of course all the women have been beat upon by the controlled mass media, which of course assisted in this entire endeavor, roundly decrying Bernie initially, and then not covering him, and then saying anything they could for him. And then, of course, they were pumping Joe Biden before this thing even got started. So Joe Biden is your guy for now until he is replaced because of his, stage 3 dementia. But here's what Hillary has to say right here, and you can hear her.
If you don't want to support Democrats, then go somewhere else. If you don't want to support Democrats, then go somewhere else.
And Hillary, that is precisely what we're going to do. Because Democrats that I grew up with, we were for the working people, right? My dad was a working man. Worked on the space program, basically a carpenter, very smart guy. Voted Democrat. Democratic Party is for the 1% now. 1/10 of 1%. When they started out this primary election, how much did the DNC have in their coffers? Less than $1 million. They're all in with the donor class, which I've spoken of previously. And they really don't care if they won, because as it stands right now, they did win because Bernie Sanders is not going to be the nominee. But you know what? We can still do something about this. And we have to destroy the Democratic Party. We have that power. They can only flip the votes so much. They couldn't flip them enough in 2016 to get Hillary over the Trump, cultural advantage that he had. And the monetary advantage is not going to win. I think we're going to be going green. But if not going green, if green doesn't come up with like Nina Turner, somebody with some real charisma and ability to fight the real fight, then what I'm going to do, and you can do whatever it is you want, of course, but there'll be 20 other candidates on that list, and that's where my vote is going, at least when I execute it. Who knows where it'll go after that, as far as being counted, because remember what Stalin said. But that's it. I'm done. I'm done with the Democratic Party, but I am gonna go after them hardcore. This thing is, we don't have democracy. It's a fascist nation. I don't know what Bernie's gonna do. I hope he doesn't endorse this clown, because that's what he is. Remember, I spoke with Joe Biden for about 45 minutes, maybe about 10 years ago over in Orlando. Guy's nothing but a bullshitter, used car salesman, and goes where he is led to go. So don't think, no matter what he or the Democratic Party says, this guy is, he's a solid Republican. And you can go down the list. I'll talk about that in another program. But I'm done. I hope you are too. We got to destroy the Democratic Party. And let's see what kind of democracy we really have if we get a good solid Green Party candidate and take them to the hoops on this. We'll show the world what kind of a democracy we have. And I'm thinking that's a small d, because they're going to use every tool in the box to deny us our just due. So once again, where am I coming from? Corporatist nation. Why is it a corporatist nation? Because we have no democracy. The corporations run it. The donor class, the top 1/10 of 1%. I thank you for listening. Let's just do it.